It only took us, and I don't mean we at UUCLV, I mean all of us everywhere. It only took us 60 or 65 years to figure out that church, in fact, religious institutions in general, do not function the same way that they did in the mid-1950s. In the 1950s, it was assumed that there was a standard nuclear family that consisted of one man and one woman, because everybody fit that mold, right? And 2.4 children and a dog. And the man was the breadwinner and the woman stayed home. And what did the woman do when she stayed home? Well, she volunteered at the church. She gave hours and hours to her church or her religious community. And in that way, churches thrived. But it is not 1956. And in fact, there are many models of families that do not involve Ward and June Cleaver. And that's just not how churches can operate anymore. And yet, we are voluntary organizations, and it does take all of us. So what does a religious community look like now? Well, it looks like all of us. It looks like all of us. And how do we make it happen? Well, in many different ways. We make it happen by coming together and figuring out how to build a good blanket fort. Your generosity makes our chalice flame burn brighter. I'm going to ask Seth to share a slide right now. We're talking about hope for the next couple of months, and you might recognize that crocus from the graphic that we showed at the beginning of the service. It's going to take many lights to kindle our chalice flame. That flame is our hope. And we're the ones who can light it. Okay, you can take that down. Thank you. So how can we make that burn brighter? Well, we are all stewards of the church. What does that mean? What does it mean to be a steward? Well, it does mean that we care for, but it means more than that. It means that we have a responsibility to one another and a care in a deep internal way. So how do we care for one another and for this church that, as we know, isn't a building? We don't have a building. How do we care for the institution of the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Lehigh Valley. One way is by giving of our time and our talents. But as I just told you, it's not 1956. We can't expect people to be full-time volunteers. People work, people have other obligations. But where can you be giving of yourself? In our contemporary times, roles that have in times past been filled by volunteers who had the time to spend 40 hours a week volunteering are now routinely filled by staff. That is a reality of contemporary church life. One way to make that happen is to give of our treasure as well. When we give of our treasure, we're feeding our mission. We can make our hopes into a reality. What do you hope for? I've heard you talk about many things over the last couple of years. What do you hope for? Are there new staff positions that you want to create? Are there old staff positions that you'd like to bring back? We can do that. We can do that together. But it requires money. So then the question is, how much should I give? Well, I can't answer a number for you. I don't know how much you can give. Except to say, give until it feels good. Give until it feels right. Now, I'm delighted to tell you that before we've even kicked off this campaign officially, you have already pledged, some of you, up $61,000. Can I get an amen for that? A hooray? Can I see some reactions? You have a reaction button? Can we get a yay? That's really fabulous. Good for you. I see Sarah doing some excited dancing there. That is great. Good for you. Keep that going. Yeah. That's a great start. That's a great start. I want you to think about what you hope for our community. I'd say look around you in the pews. We're not quite back to meeting in person yet. But if you saw the latest pandemic safety team report, you know those numbers are dropping. You know they're dropping. We will be together in person eventually. I'd say soon, but I don't want to, I'm knocking on wood. We will be together again. So look around you on the screen. Look at the other people there. What are you willing to give for this community? What are you willing to give to make this community into the community you dream about? Now, all of our situations are different. Perhaps you've hit on some harder times this year compared to last year, and you can't give as much, and that's okay, because every gift is accepted and received gratefully. But maybe you're in better shape. Maybe you're on more solid ground. Maybe you can add more to your gift. A suggested pledge among Unitarian Universalists is to move toward modern tithing, which is 5% to your religious community and 5% toward other charitable donations that you wish to give to. Have you moved toward modern tithing yet? What do you want to ask of each other? What do you want to ask of yourself? Now, as I said, we give of our time and our talent and our treasure. How else can you help our chalice flame to burn brighter? Have you been interested in leadership but don't know where to start? Is there a volunteer opportunity you've been thinking about, but, well, you haven't gone there yet? We can do so much more together. You've been very generous over the last couple of years of my time with you. I'm going to ask you to continue to be generous. This is a spiritual practice. I'm going to ask you to be generous, to build your church community, to serve our mission of awakening the spirit, of connecting in kindness, of helping to heal the world. I'd love to hear from you about your hopes, your vision for our future. We can make it happen. you can make it happen, especially if we work together. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. Let us lead in love. Let us show our generosity and make our chalice flame burn bright. Now, beloveds, I wish I could tell you that I wrote those beautiful words. I did not. They are by my muse. In the song, We Shall Be Known. Let us tend these fires as we listen to it now.